Hey everyone, it's Amarachi. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Mercedes Eqe, which is their EV SUV. I do really enjoy driving cars, test driving cars, and whenever I get a new car or I'm in a rental, I always want to just absorb every feature I can from it. So I do believe that it is important for the female perspective to be put into the car review conversation. Okay, so all we doing here is we bringing the female perspective to automation. Okay, all right, so join me as we preview and look through this beautiful car that I'm sure a lot of you are gonna want to walk away with. All right, let's go. This is the outside of the vehicle. Very sleek look. We know that Mercedes is known for a superior exterior design. The car is currently closed. I go ahead here with my key and I press the unlock button, and automatically the mirrors come out. As for trunk space, when we circle around the back, we see that we have a good amount of trunk space. Now let's go ahead and look at the interior of the vehicle. So the handles are automatically come out once you open the vehicle. This is a standard 5-seater. We see that we have the 3 back seats, premium back seats, very comfortable. This is very soft, like very soft material here. This is what it will look like from the back. Very comfortable. So here I am in the back seat. Very spacious, very spacious. Even my feet have a lot of space. Head wise, I'm not that tall, so I find that the headspace is really cool back here. It's not close to my head, and for a taller individual you probably struggle, but that might be most regular vehicles. And same kind of goes for the other side as well as the middle seat. So it's pretty spacious back here. As for foot room, I have a good amount of space here. Obviously this is dependent on how far or forward the driver puts their seat, but it's pretty spacious back here. And as I've mentioned before, the interior is pretty sleek. All of these functions look very well designed. Doesn't seem to be cheap material. The leather is very soft. It's almost like the touch, as you can see, kind of there's some imprint. It's very soft leather back here, premium leather here. I don't know exactly what material this is, but it is very nice back here. The seat pockets are a little small, but it kind of fits with the overall seat design of the front seat, so it's pretty good. We have our air here, and what's pretty cool is that we actually have seat warmers for the back seat, which is pretty cool. That is a part of the luxury experience. It's pretty neat. We're gonna go ahead and get inside the driver's side. As soon as I get in, there's already air blowing. The system is ready to go, which is pretty neat. Another thing that I really love about this vehicle is the attention to detail when it comes to designing this front half, right? So this is very sleek. So you can put something on here. Of course, this isn't going to be as stable, but what's beautiful is how sleek that comes back. Just look at that, then push, comes back. Perfect. Then you also have extra compartments up here to put more of your stuff. Also really nice, very spacious, very deep, so you can actually put quite a bit in here. So like I said, Mercedes is definitely no stranger to perfecting interior design, and of course that goes for the little Mercedes-Benz signs here on this brown kind of semi-wooden material that is across the entire dashboard. Now let's start off with the driver's side panels. So you have your standard with your windows, seat adjustments, heated seats as well. I think you can also air condition your seat, which is pretty insane. And this is an EV doing all of this as well. And I feel like sometimes with EVs, you wonder how much they can handle, because I think with electric, a lot of us are still really, we're new to electric. We're kind of like, can the electric battery handle all of this? But Mercedes is telling us it very well can. Now, one thing that is kind of annoying is you got to reach all the way down here to adjust the light setting. In the sedan models, the light setting is also on the left, but it's kind of it doesn't slant downward. It's kind of more towards the driver, which makes it easier to access. So that's kind of annoying. But you know, with all of the fancy stuff they got going back over here, you kind of have to make some compromises. But it's not terrible, but it is annoying. Here we have the parking brake, some air as well. And let's go ahead and start the vehicle. What I really love, so this dashboard right here is really great. I love that all of the newer Mercedes kind of have this meter of your mileage. In this case, it would be your gas, how full your gas is, or electric charge in this case. I really like this sleekness to it. And it's not touchscreen, but you know, sometimes I find myself kind of tapping it to double check. But it's really clear to me. Everything kind of makes sense. And you know, as Mercedes has been doing for a few years now, maybe a decade, the gear shift is right by the steering wheel, and this wheel feels really good, feels really solid. I will say this wheel's a little lighter than the sedan wheels kind of are, but that might just be part of the vehicle design. As you can see, you have your standard volume settings, your call settings, as well as these other gadgets here. Now, I don't really use all this stuff, but you know, it's all here for the driver. It looks really good. What I love about this EV is this digitized board we have here. Now, if you've driven another EV, this is pretty common in EVs, but this dashboard is pretty awesome. What I love is the GPS function. It's pretty good. But one thing I noticed is that some addresses don't really register. So I would still say always double check the directions the GPS is giving you with your phone GPS. I think the phone GPS is still somewhat superior, but this is pretty good. As for controlling, you know, things like AC and heat, I will say it is a bit more involved. You kind of have to really look around here. So I had to play around with this a bit, figure out where the AC is. But that's easy to turn on and off. Same thing with the fan here. As you notice, high, marketed shift in that, take that down. Same thing with rear, kind of hear it in the back as well. And this is the climate menu, so you can kind of also see where you want the air to come out of, right? Pretty nice for the summer heat. And then it also gives you a nice, panel of where you are in the world. And then you can control all your settings here. If I go to home, here, yeah. So you can also kind of drag down here. It has a lot, you have these apps you can add. I will say it can get kind of, like I said, you got to play around with it. It's not necessarily intuitive, but it is pretty cool and pretty nice to have. Here I'm going to go through these various buttons. This is new to me as well, but this is pretty cool. The parking assistance. There's a lot of technology to help you park and help you drive. As I was driving, it had all kinds of various assistance. There's so much technology here. So this is just a view of a surrounding view of the vehicle. That's pretty cool. Like I said, you have the parking assistance as well. So this is a very high-tech vehicle. Definitely it has covered all its bases. In addition to this surrounding camera, we also have the one in the back and we have the one in the front, which come into view when you're parking. Now this EQ button, I believe, is telling you more detail about the vehicle. So we have like the range here, right? And then it gives you all of how to maximize your range and what's going on in the interior with the climate control, all of that. So it's giving you a lot of detail here, how much range you have left, routes. This is also pertaining to the GPS feature I mentioned before. And I also can show you, the closest charging stations, which is pretty damn awesome, if I do say so myself. Parking spaces as well. They also tell you parking spaces in the vicinity. That was pretty useful when I was coming over here as well. So that's pretty dope. So this is where you can see the different assistance, right? So they even have a tow away alarm. When your vehicle's getting towed, it will alert you, which is pretty darn awesome. There's car wash mode, which I'm not going to play with because I'm not in a car wash, but I'm sure that kind of adjusts the vehicle to adapt to that setting. As I said, there's the lane keep, there's the steering, lane change, all these really cool features here. So this is a very, for an EV, right? You know, EVs are now on the come up, you guys. So if you had any worry about can EVs do what our regular cars do, the answer is yes, maybe even more. So that's pretty awesome here. This, of course, is the hazard light, so we're not gonna play with that, but that's pretty standard. Now this is awesome because this is a fingerprint sensor. So I guess you have to activate, when you get your Mercedes brand, you have to activate Mercedes Me, and you can use your fingerprint to unlock things, which is pretty darn awesome. And like I said, you know, just really high tech. And then we have the off button to turn off the whole system. So you can turn the display off, or you can turn the system off. I'm not going to do either there, but that's where that is. And then you have your standard volume controls here. So if I want to increase, then decrease. So this is pretty cool. This interior is pretty freaking cool. Mercedes, you know, is not disappointing with this EV. All right. Another thing I want to highlight is they have this cool, like, I guess, purse compartment here. This is underneath. So in addition to this already large space here, you have another one down here. So once again, they are not compromising space in this vehicle. And I know a lot of EVs, people talk about the fact that because, you know, you have the smaller trunk, you know, is it spacious? This car is certainly challenging that, saying, you know, there's a hella space in here. It rivals your traditional SUV, and there's really not much to complain about in this vehicle. Here's the overhead. So you have your lights, your SOS calling, pretty standard. And I believe this is also a it has its sunroof, so you know you can play around with that as well. And yeah, and just standard mirrors, everything. So this is a pretty dope car. I have no issues with it. So we're gonna go ahead and drive. So the car is in drive, and there's a man looking at me. Oh, it's one way. My bad. Excuse me, sirs. Yeah, I mean, this car drives like your standard.
Turn left.
I mean, it is beautiful. No difference between it's a very smooth ride. I don't feel like, oh, this is markedly different from the gas vehicles I drive. It's very smooth. Very smooth. I will say, if you're short, you might want a pillow. A cool feature with the GPS here is that when it is time for you to make a turn, the front camera will show you what exactly it looks like, with the arrows kind of indicating, see those blue arrows indicating that it's time for you to make that turn, and then you have the camera to see what the road looks like. So that is very helpful. So as with most EVs, noiseless. You know, there's barely any noise. The tires hold up pretty well. I think these are standard tires. So I mean, there's no complaints here from me. As for acceleration, I have actually been on roads that are not with lots of cameras, so I haven't been accelerating. But when I have stepped on the gas more, so now we can accelerate. I honestly, this is very smooth, you guys. Like, this is very
now turn left,
and it's easy to go between braking and accelerating. Yeah, if you're someone who slugs up and down the highway every day, you know. I unfortunately, my review does not cover that, how this EV would do longer drives. But if you stay within your county and you drive around, you have a normal work commute, and you have a regular, dropping kids off to school, nothing too crazy, like you have to drive like 3 hours to work and back, this vehicle can definitely do the job, I would say. Woman is kind of crazy. Wow, you are kind of crazy.
Now turn left.
Yikes, it's crazy, but her license plate says 2222. I guess that's good luck. Overall, I really love this vehicle. I have no complaints. I will say that I've only ridden it for driven it for half a day, I have to return the car because my original car, my OG car, is actually out of the shop, or I can go pick it up. So someone with maybe more driving time, larger commute, might have something different to say. But from this short half day that I've driven this car, I really think that it is worth looking into for SUV EVs in the luxury category. I know that initially, everyone was trying to make an EV. Everyone was kind of like Tesla is the main one, but there's so many options out here, you guys. So many options, so many great vehicles, so many engineers really trying to merge EV with luxury, EV with class, EV with all of the features we love in our regular cars and more. So if you are interested in the EV, I definitely would tell you to branch out. It's not just Tesla out here anymore. There are a lot of vehicles that can serve your purpose and can work very well and get you to and from where you need to, and even more than that, as I've shown with the various features that this car has. I love this car, really think it's great. Like I said, I only drove it for a short period of time, but even in that short period, it still stood out to me. And I was someone who was like, if I get an EV, I wouldn't look at Mercedes because they haven't been doing it as long as, let's say, Tesla. I'm also in love with the Ford Mustang Mach-E, so I was just like, that's my car. But this has made me reconsider, hey, in the future, EV, SUV, maybe when I have kids, this might be something to consider. As for charge, I started this vehicle at 93. It's now 85. I have not been driving the whole time. Like I said, this is a 30-minute drive that I'm taking now. I'm almost halfway to the destination. So maybe there might be other cars with better range than this one. But like I said, if you're someone who, your commute isn't too crazy, everything's pretty local, pretty much in the same area, like a nice tri-state area, this EV can certainly be something that you consider and take into account if you are looking to purchase an EV, get a new one, or just see what's out there. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you liked my review. Let me know what your thoughts are on the EQE, whether you've used it before, whether you're driving, whether you're interested, whether you think another EV is better. Once again, this is Amarachi. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.